Greetings, family. Peace and love to you and yours. This is Guru, and thanks for visiting my channel. Family, this video is about the fired author of the controversial Google memo who wrote about diversity in the workplace. He says he feels like he's been betrayed. Others say it was possibly wrong or illegal for Google to do that. I disagree wholeheartedly. Let's go into the video first, and then I'll give my comments afterwards.
Engineer James Damore ignited a national firestorm with his 10-page essay that many called sexist and demoralizing to women working in tech. His manifesto cost him his job, and now he's fighting back, defending his actions to NBC News.
It's just that I don't like having these taboos. So
software engineer James Damore speaking out about being fired by Google on Monday for his internal memo, writing that male and female tech workers differ in their abilities due to biological causes, and Google's diversity efforts are bad for business.
The culture is very left-leaning and just intolerant of anyone that holds a differing opinion.
Google CEO Sundar Pichai said Damore's manifesto violated its code of conduct and crossed the line by advancing harmful gender stereotypes in our workplace. The company says we invest a lot in our efforts to create a fair and inclusive environment for all our employees across all genders and races. Reaction to Damore's firing was mixed. WikiLeaks' Julian Assange, who reportedly offered Damore a job, tweeted, "Women and men deserve respect. That includes not firing them for politely expressing ideas, but rather arguing back." But others say they're fed up with attitudes like Damore's. Kate Houston worked for Google in Canada, Australia, and London between 2011 and 2014. She says she left because of what she felt was a misogynistic culture.
I saw many of my women friends also be treated poorly by the men that they worked with, and eventually I didn't want to do that anymore.
The Labor Department is already suing Google over pay discrimination, alleging systemic compensation disparities against women across the workforce. Google denies the allegations. Now, this new ad for a proposed class action lawsuit against Google seeks victims of alleged compensation discrimination. Damore says before his firing, he filed a complaint against Google with the National Labor Relations Board, saying upper management is shaming me in order to silence my complaints. He says his only goal was to spark a conversation about gender in tech.
I'm not just attacking diversity, I'm just attacking the fact that we can't honestly discuss any of these issues, and that is actually hurting the problem.
Damore believes his firing was illegal and will be taking legal action to challenge his dismissal. And now Google is planning to hold an all-staff town hall today to address the controversy. Guys?
I would imagine interesting comments during that town hall. Joe, thanks very much.
So here's what I think about this young man who happens to be a white guy. He is definitely benefiting again from white privilege. Why do I say that? Well, because he's all up in the media pretty much every day now about what's happened to him, that he got fired. Well, number one, the CEO says that he violated a code of conduct. I happen to agree. He used the company's computer systems to write this 10-page manifesto. He was definitely wasting a lot of time. Even if he did it on his own time, he still did it on the work premises. He still did it at work. That's a failure right there. He should be fired. Now, Assange supports this white guy. I would like to ask Assange, would he have supported this man if he was a black man? That's what I would like to know. It seems like white people never come out when it comes to black people. When we state our claims, they don't come out in our support, no. But people like Assange, because he's well known in the media, and they'll put a microphone in his face, he speaks out and says, oh, he should be protected. How are you going to discriminate against him just for giving his opinion? Well, he's given his opinion that's not well received at the workplace. People at workplaces have more common sense to know not to do that. This guy obviously doesn't, because again, he's operating on his white privilege. He feels like he should be able to do that. Well, hell, it's his opinion. Why can't I? Well, that goes the same for black people, though. We have our opinions too, but I tell you what, a company would fire us in a heartbeat. This young white boy is getting away with white privilege. That's what he's trying to do. But no, he didn't get away with it because they fired his ass, and with good reasons. Now, what about pay discrimination of women? That's what the claim is. What about the pay discrimination of women? I'd like to ask, what about the pay discrimination of black people? Aside from the hiring discrimination that occurs, what about the pay discrimination? You know how when you start a job and they tell you never talk about how much you earn on the job force? You know why they do that? Because they don't want you to learn that they're paying other white people more money for what they're doing when you do more work than the white person. Yeah, that's right. They'll pay the white person much more money, especially if you do start researching and looking around and asking questions. You'll find out that white people will earn much more money than you for doing less work or the same work. It doesn't make sense. No, it doesn't make sense. I've seen it on the workforce too many damn times. As a matter of fact, I used to work in the legal department where I had access to records. I came across a box of records at a company I worked for, and it had payroll documents in it. Well, I had to do some research in that box where I came across logs of how much everyone in the company was earning. Did you know I found out that all the black people at the company earned less than the white folks and everybody else at the company? They seem to lowball black people as far as pay goes. That's right, at least the company I worked at. I've seen it too many times though. This is a problem. So when they say there's systemic compensation disparities against women, how about systemic compensation disparities against black people and people of color on the workforce? How about that? If this young white boy wants to talk about these issues, maybe we should include these other topics in the discussion. So yeah, this class action lawsuit that the women are trying to do because of compensation issues, I'd say it's time that black people jump on the same bandwagon and bring up the fact that how about race? How about the pay discrimination of race when race is involved? How about that? It seems like women and others benefit from our discriminatory claims when we bring up these issues. It seems like everyone else, they benefit. Black people should benefit from the same thing. So, alleged compensation discrimination, listen, against women, well, women in the workforce, let's just say it plainly and clearly, are affirmative action recipients. I want to say that one more time. Women in the workforce are affirmative action recipients. You have benefited from something that should have been geared towards black people in the first place, and now that you're in the workforce, now you want to claim discriminatory practices of pay. Well, guess what? You have benefited over black people in the first place to get in the workforce. Yes, you have. And now that you have, now you want to bring up lawsuits against pay? Well, black people need to join the same bandwagon. We need to look into class action lawsuits against big companies like Google too. This guy, in my opinion, he's just living off his white privilege. And he has a voice, his 15 minutes of fame, he has a voice right now to say, oh, poor me, I'm being discriminated against because I can't give my opinion on diversity. Wow. Diversity? Really? Diversity is when you have a diverse workforce. When you're just targeting women, you're just being a sexist pig. That's all. That's all you're doing, is being a sexist pig. But I say to the women, the affirmative action recipients, if you have a class action lawsuit alleging compensation discrimination, black people We need to do the same thing because they pay us far less for doing the same job in these white corporations, or these big corporations, I should say. So I'm going to leave it at that. Thanks for watching. I'll leave a link in the description if you would like to read this article yourself. It's not that long, but I think this guy is just getting off on his white privilege card. That's all. This is Guru. Thanks for watching. Peace and love to you and yours. We'll see you in the next video. Peace out.